Welcome to the Empty Nest Era, the podcast that helps you navigate life after the kids leave home. I'm Jamie Chin, licensed marriage and family therapist and mom to two amazing daughters in their 20s, and I'm here to walk alongside you as you rediscover yourself, reconnect with your partner, and redefine your relationship with your adult children. Let's begin this next chapter together. While some parents actually celebrate the milestone of their child leaving home with freedom parties, others wonder why they feel so unexpectedly hollow inside. If you've experienced a sense of loss, sadness, or emptiness after your children moved out, you're not alone. Today, we're tackling the connection between empty nest syndrome and clinical depression, and why so many parents struggle with this major life transition far more than they expected to. And as a therapist, I'm particularly interested in this topic. So let's talk about the reality of empty nest syndrome. Empty nest syndrome isn't just about missing your kids. It's a profound identity shift that happens when that role that defines you for decades suddenly changes. You've spent years organizing your schedule around sports practices, band concerts, and parent-teacher conferences. Your conversations centered around your children's achievements and challenges. Even your social circle likely formed around your kids' activities. Then suddenly, it all stops. Research shows that nearly 40% of parents experience significant emotional distress when their children leave home. This isn't just normal sadness. We're talking about a fundamental restructuring of your daily existence. Think about it. The job that you've held for 18 plus years has essentially been eliminated. No company would expect you to just bounce back immediately from losing a position you've held for that long. Yet, society often tells parents to just enjoy the freedom without acknowledging the significant loss that's occurred. It's completely normal to feel sad when your children leave home. In fact, it would be strange if you didn't experience some emotional response to such a major life change. But there's an important distinction between temporary sadness and clinical depression. Normal emptiness feelings include missing your child's physical presence, feeling nostalgic about past family experiences, worrying about their well-being away from home, adjusting to new routines and quieter meals, and questioning your purpose now that active parenting has ended. These feelings typically ease with time as you adjust to your new normal. Depression, however, it goes beyond these feelings, and it may include persistent sadness that doesn't improve after several weeks, a loss of interest in activities that you once enjoyed. You could have changes in sleep patterns. This might include either sleeping too much or battling insomnia. You could have significant changes in your appetite or weight. You might have difficulty concentrating or just making decisions about things. You could have feelings of worthlessness or excessive guilt. And finally, in the extreme, with clinical depression, we often see recurrent thoughts of death or suicide. The key difference is duration and intensity. If your sadness persists for weeks or months without improvement, interferes with your daily functioning, or includes thoughts of harming yourself, you're potentially dealing with depression rather than typical empty nest syndrome. Not everyone experiences empty nest syndrome with the same intensity. Research identifies several factors that might make some parents more vulnerable to developing depression during this transition. So these are some things to consider. One is your parenting identity. If being a parent has been your primary identity and source of purpose, you're more likely to struggle when that role changes. Parents who maintain careers, hobbies, and social connections outside of parenting often have an easier adjustment. Your relationship status. Studies show that single parents and those in unhappy marriages face greater challenges with empty nest syndrome. Without the distraction of children, relationship issues that were previously ignored often surface. Also consider additional life stressors. Many parents face empty nest syndrome alongside other major life changes, like career shifts, health issues, caring for aging parents, or approaching retirement. These compounding stressors can overwhelm your coping resources. And finally, consider if you've had previous mental health issues. If you've already experienced depression or anxiety in the past, you're more susceptible to developing these conditions during these major life transitions. Also of importance is really the nature of your child's departure. A child leaving under difficult circumstances, such as family conflict, financial struggles, or concerns about their readiness, can also intensify negative emotions. The connection between empty nest syndrome and depression isn't just psychological, it's physical. When we experience significant emotional distress, our bodies respond in measurable ways. Chronic stress triggers the release of cortisol, which can lead to inflammation, weakened immunity, and increased risk of physical illness. This might explain why some parents experience more colds, headaches, or flare-ups of existing health conditions during this transition. Sleep disruption is another common physical manifestation. The worry and rumination that accompany empty nest syndrome can make it difficult to fall asleep or stay asleep. And poor sleep quality is both a symptom of depression and a factor that can worsen it. Many parents also report changes in appetite, either eating more for comfort or losing interest in food altogether. These physical symptoms create a feedback loop. Feeling physically unwell makes it harder to maintain positive mental health, which in turn worsens physical symptoms. What's particularly interesting is that brain imaging studies show that the emotional pain of separation activates the same neural pathways as physical pain. So when you say your heart aches from missing your child, your brain is actually processing that emotional pain similarly to how it would process physical pain. I mean, isn't that amazing? If you're approaching or currently experiencing empty nest syndrome, there are evidence-based strategies that can help prevent depression or address it if it's already developing. So, here are some prevention and treatment strategies to consider. 1. Prepare before they leave. The transition is easier if you begin preparing emotionally before your children actually depart. Start building non-parenting activities and relationships while they're still at home. 2. Redefine your relationship. Your role as a parent isn't ending, it's evolving. Focus on developing an adult relationship with your child that includes mutual respect and new ways of connecting. 3. Reconnect with your partner if you have one. Many couples find that empty nest syndrome actually improves their relationship satisfaction. Use this opportunity to rediscover each other without the constant demands that you had when you were in that active parenting stage. 4. Explore neglected interest. Did you set aside hobbies or goals when you became a parent? Now's the time to revisit those interests or discover entirely new ones. 5. Build meaningful structure. Create new routines that give your days purpose and direction. This might include volunteer work, taking classes, or establishing regular social engagements. 6. Acknowledge the loss. Give yourself permission to grieve. The end of daily parenting represents a significant loss that deserves to be honored and processed. And finally, 7, seek professional help when needed. If your symptoms match the depression criteria we discussed earlier, or if you're struggling to function in daily life, reach out to a mental health professional. Therapy approaches like cognitive behavioral therapy are particularly effective for depression related to life transitions. It's worth noting that some parents actually experience improved mental health after children leave. One study found that 65% of parents reported lower stress levels and higher life satisfaction within a year of their children's departure. The key difference? These parents viewed the empty nest as an opportunity for growth rather than just an ending. Empty nest syndrome exists on a spectrum. Some parents experience a brief period of adjustment followed by a renewed sense of freedom and possibility. Others face a more challenging transition that may develop into clinical depression, requiring professional support. Most of us fall somewhere in between. What's your experience been like? Has your empty nest felt more like freedom or loss? The comments section below is a safe space to share your journey and connect with others who understand exactly what you're going through. Next time, we'll explore strategies for maintaining meaningful connections with your adult children without overstepping boundaries. Because the most important job of parenting isn't raising children, it's raising adults who still want to come home. Thanks for joining me for this episode of the Empty Nest Era. If today's conversation resonated with you, don't forget to follow, share, and leave a review. It helps other empty nesters find this supportive space. Until next time, take a deep breath, trust your journey, and remember, this is your time now. Finally, I want to note that this podcast is for education only and is not a replacement for therapy. I suggest you seek out the help of a trained professional for help with your specific situation if needed. Thank you.